Crash landing. The vast emptiness of space shimmered with countless stars, a deceptively peaceful backdrop to the frantic flight of a sleek silver spacecraft. Inside the cockpit, Zara, a diplomat from the distant world of Lumina, gripped the controls with trembling hands. Her luminescent blue skin glowed faintly in the dim emergency lighting, a testament to her species' bioluminescent nature. Alarms blared around her, red warning lights flashing across the ship's consoles. "Computer, status report," Zara shouted, her voice cracking with exhaustion. "Multiple systems failing. Hull integrity at 32%. Fuel reserves critically low. Recommend immediate landing on nearest habitable planet," the AI responded in its emotionless tone. Zara's heart raced as she scanned the nearby star systems. Her home world of Lumino was light years behind her, consumed by a brutal civil war that had shattered the fragile peace she had worked so hard to maintain. She was the last hope for her people, carrying with her vital information that could turn the tide of the conflict. A small blue-green planet appeared on her view screen. "Computer, analyze that world," Zara commanded. Planet designation: Earth. Atmosphere breathable. Indigenous population, pre-interstellar. Warning: landing protocols compromised. Crash imminent. Zara steeled herself. It wasn't an ideal situation, but she had no choice. "Initiate emergency landing sequence," she ordered, bracing for impact. The ship plummeted through Earth's atmosphere, its hull glowing red-hot from the friction. Zara fought to maintain control, but the damaged systems made it nearly impossible. Trees rushed up to meet her as the craft plunged into a dense forest, carving a destructive path through the wilderness before coming to a violent stop. Silence fell, broken only by the hiss of cooling metal and the distant calls of startled wildlife. Inside the wreckage, Zara lay unconscious, her delicate features marred by cuts and bruises. The ship's emergency beacon flickered weakly, its signal barely penetrating the thick canopy above. Miles away, in a small ranger station nestled in the heart of the forest, Max Carter jolted awake. The seasoned forest ranger had dozed off during his night shift, lulled by the peaceful sounds of the wilderness. But now something felt different. He peered out the window, his keen eyes scanning the darkened tree line. "What do you think, Luna? Something's not right out there," Max murmured to his loyal companion, a German shepherd mix with intelligent eyes and a shaggy coat. Luna whined softly, her ears perked up and alert. She padded to the door, scratching at it insistently. "All right, girl, let's check it out," Max said, grabbing his jacket and flashlight. As he stepped outside, the crisp night air filled his lungs. Luna took the lead, her nose to the ground, following some unseen trail. They trekked deeper into the forest, guided by Luna's instincts and Max's years of experience navigating the wilderness. After what seemed like hours, they crested a small hill, and Max's jaw dropped at the sight before him. A long, deep furrow had been carved through the forest, trees splintered and earth upturned. At the end of this path of destruction lay a sight that Max could scarcely believe: a gleaming silver spacecraft, its hull still smoking from its violent descent. "Holy, Luna, stay close," Max whispered, approaching the wreckage cautiously. His mind raced with possibilities. Was this some secret military project, an elaborate hoax, or something far beyond his wildest imagination? As they neared the ship, Luna suddenly darted forward, barking excitedly. She stopped at what appeared to be a hatch and began pawing at it, whining urgently. "What is it, girl? Someone in there?" Max asked, his heart pounding. He examined the hatch, looking for some way to open it. His fingers brushed against a panel, and to his surprise, it slid open with a hiss of escaping air. Max shone his flashlight into the opening, and his breath caught in his throat. There, amidst the tangle of alien technology, lay a figure unlike anything he had ever seen. Humanoid in shape, but with blue, softly glowing skin and delicate, almost crystalline features. "My God," Max breathed, his training kicking in despite his shock. "Hey, Can you hear me? Are you all right? The alien figure stirred slightly, a soft moan escaping its lips. Max made a split-second decision. Alien or not, someone needed his help. "Luna, stay," he commanded, then carefully climbed into the ship. Up close, he could see that the alien was injured, blue blood seeping from several cuts. With gentle movements, he checked for any obvious broken bones or spinal injuries. "I hope I'm not making things worse," Max muttered, then carefully lifted the alien into his arms. It was surprisingly light, almost fragile feeling. As he maneuvered out of the ship, Luna whined anxiously, her tail wagging in a mix of excitement and concern. "It's okay, girl. We're going to help her, him, whatever. We're going to help," Max assured his faithful companion. "But this is way above our pay grade. We need to call this in." As Max began the long trek back to his ranger station, cradling the unconscious alien in his arms, he couldn't help but marvel at the situation. In all his years as a forest ranger, he'd never imagined he'd be making first contact with an extraterrestrial being. Luna trotted alongside them, occasionally glancing up at the alien with curious eyes. The forest around them seemed to hold its breath, as if aware of the momentous event unfolding within its bounds. Max's mind raced with questions and concerns. Who was this alien? Why had they come to Earth? And most pressingly, what would happen when the rest of the world found out about this incredible discovery? As the first light of dawn began to peek through the trees, Max realized that his life, and potentially the lives of every human on Earth, had just changed forever. The adventure that lay ahead was beyond anything he could have imagined, and it all started here, in this quiet forest, with an alien princess left to die and a human ranger and his loyal dog who came to her rescue. Little did Max know that this chance encounter would soon thrust him into the center of an intergalactic conflict, testing the limits of human ingenuity, compassion, and courage. The fate of two worlds now rested in the unlikeliest of alliances, forged in the crucible of necessity and hope. As they neared the ranger station, the alien in Max's arms began to stir. He quickened his pace, knowing that the next few moments would be crucial. First contact was about to truly begin, and Max found himself both terrified and exhilarated at the prospect. "Luna," he said to his faithful companion, "I think our lives are about to get a whole lot more interesting." Luna barked in response, as if in agreement, as they stepped onto the porch of the ranger station. The sun peeked over the horizon, bathing the forest in a warm, golden light. It was a new dawn, not just for Max and Luna, but potentially for all of humanity. Echoes of the unknown. The old ranger station creaked and groaned, its wooden walls witness to a scene straight out of science fiction. Max gently laid the alien visitor on his warm couch, his mind reeling from the night's events. Luna paced anxiously, her nails clicking on the hardwood floor. As dawn's first light filtered through dusty windows, the alien stirred. Iridescent eyelids fluttered open, revealing eyes like swirling galaxies. Max held his breath, heart pounding. "Easy there," he said softly, hands raised in what he hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "You're safe." The alien's eyes widened in panic. She tried to sit up, only to fall back with a pained gasp. A sound like wind chimes filled the air, and Max realized with a start that it was the alien's voice. "Luna, fetch the first aid kit," Max commanded, not taking his eyes off that unexpected guest. The dog trotted off, returning moments later with a red bag clutched gently in her jaws. The alien watched this exchange with evident curiosity, fear giving way to wonder. When Luna approached, tail wagging cautiously, the alien extended a trembling hand. Luna sniffed it, then gave a gentle lick. The alien's melodic laughter filled the room, easing some of the tension. "See, we come in peace," Max said with a smile. He opened the first aid kit, then paused. "Human medicine might do more harm than good. I don't suppose you have some sort of, I don't know, alien first aid manual." To his surprise, the alien nodded. She tapped a bracelet on her wrist, and a holographic display sprang to life. Max watched in awe as she navigated through alien symbols, eventually bringing up what looked like anatomical diagrams. Incredible, Max breathed. Can you understand me? The alien cocked her head, then tapped her temple. A small device behind her ear glowed softly. When she spoke again, her wind chime voice was overlaid with halting English. Yes, translate. Learning. I am Zara, diplomat of Lumina. Max introduced himself and Luna, explaining how they'd found her. As Zara's translator improved, she shared her own story, a tale of civil war, desperate flight, and a crash landing on an unknown world. As Max tended to Zara's injuries using her holographic guide, an idea struck him. Zara, your ship, does it have some kind of cloaking device? We need to hide it before someone else finds it. Zara nodded, tapping her bracelet again. In the distance, a faint hum could be heard, followed by silence. Done, she said. Ship hidden. Max let out a relieved sigh. Good. That buys us some time to figure out our next move. But time, it seemed, was not on their side. The radio on Max's desk crackled to life, making them all jump. Ranger Station 17, this is HQ. We've had reports of strange lights and sounds in your sector last night. Any unusual activity to report? Max and Zara exchanged panicked looks. Luna whined softly, sensing the tension. Negative HQ, Max replied, trying to keep his voice steady. All quiet here. Probably just some campers with fireworks. I'll check it out and report back. Roger that, 17. Keep us posted. As the radio fell silent, Max ran a hand through his hair. Okay, we need a plan. I can't hide you here forever, Zara. But I'm not about to turn you over to the government either. No offense, but I've seen too many movies to think that would end well. Zara's lips curved in what might have been a smile. Your concern, appreciated, but my mission, crucial. Must contact Earth leaders. Max raised an eyebrow. Your mission? I thought you were a refugee. Zara's expression turned grave. Refugee, yes, but also warning. War on Lumina could spread. Earth in danger. The weight of her words hung heavy in the air. Max glanced at Luna, who looked back with trusting eyes. He took a deep breath, making a decision that would change his life forever. All right, Zara, I'll help you. But we do this my way. I've got a friend, a scientist who's been talking about extraterrestrial life for years. Everyone thinks she's crazy, but she might be our best shot at getting your message to the right people. Zara nodded gratefully. Thank you, Max. Luna, she added, reaching out to stroke the dog's fur. Friends. As Max began gathering supplies for their journey, a thought occurred to him. Zara, can you make yourself look, well, human? It might make traveling easier. Zara's form shimmered, her alien features blurring and reforming into those of a human woman. Max and Luna stared in amazement. Holographic, disguise, Zara explained. Not perfect, but sufficient. Max nodded, impressed. It'll do. We'll say you're my cousin if anyone asks. As they prepared to leave, Max took one last look around his small ranger station. He had a feeling he wouldn't be seeing it again for a long time. Ready for an adventure, Luna? He asked. The dog barked enthusiastically. Zara stood unsteadily, leaning on Max for support. Adventure, she repeated, testing the word. Yes, for Lumina, for Earth. Together, the unlikely trio stepped out into the morning sun. The forest around them seemed alive with possibility, the very air thrumming with the promise of extraordinary things to come. As they made their way through the underbrush, Max couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. Here he was, a simple forest ranger, now responsible for an alien diplomat and potentially the fate of 2 worlds. You know, Zara, he said as they navigated a particularly tricky section of trail, on Earth we have a saying, may you live in interesting times. I always thought it was supposed to be a curse. Zara's holographic features creased in confusion. Why curse? Interesting, good guess. Max helped her over a fallen log, Luna bounding ahead to scout the path. Well, interesting often means dangerous or unpredictable. But you know what? I'm starting to think it might be a blessing after all. As they pressed on, the forest canopy above them swayed in a gentle breeze, oblivious to the cosmic drama unfolding beneath its branches. The journey ahead was uncertain, fraught with danger and the unknown. But with each step, Max felt a growing sense of purpose, a feeling that he was part of something greater than himself. Little did they know that their every move was being watched, not just by the curious creatures of the forest, but by forces far beyond Earth's atmosphere. The die had been cast, and the fate of two worlds now rested in the hands of a forest ranger, an alien diplomat, and a loyal dog named Luna. The adventure had only just begun. Whispers in the static. The old pickup truck rumbled down a dusty back road, its engine protesting with each mile. Inside, an unlikely trio sat in tense silence. Max, the forest ranger turned reluctant hero, Zara, the alien diplomat disguised as a human, and Luna, the ever-loyal canine, her head hanging out the window, tongue lolling in the breeze. "So," Max said, breaking the silence, "tell me about these Earth leaders you need to contact. I'm guessing you don't mean the President or the UN." Zara's holographic disguise flickered slightly as she turned to him. "Not exactly. Lumina research suggests hidden council. Humans aware of galactic community." Max nearly swerved off the road. "Wait, what? You're saying there are humans who already know about aliens?" Before Zara could respond, the truck's ancient radio crackled to life, startling them all. Instead of music or news, a strange, rhythmic pattern of beeps and whistles filled the cab. Luna's ears perked up, and she began to howl along with the bizarre tune. Zara's eyes widened in recognition. "Stop. This, important," she exclaimed, reaching for the radio dial. Her fingers danced across the controls with inhuman speed, adjusting frequency and amplitude. Max pulled over, watching in amazement as Zara worked. Suddenly, a voice emerged from the static, but it wasn't human. "Kest, Zara of Lumina. Kest. Earth in danger. Kest. Seek the Nightshade Protocol." As quickly as it appeared, the transmission faded back into static. Zara sat back, her holographic face pale. "What the hell was that?" Max demanded. "Message from Resistance," Zara explained. "War spreads faster than feared. Earth, key to survival. And this Nightshade Protocol." Zara shook her head. "Unknown, but must be connected to Hidden Council." Max rubbed his temples, feeling a headache coming on. "Great. Alien resistance fighters, secret Earth councils, and mysterious protocols. Any other bombshells you want to drop?" As if in answer, Luna began barking furiously at the sky. They looked up to see a formation of sleek, black aircraft unlike anything Max had ever seen, moving silently overhead. "Not ours," Zara said grimly. "Hunters." Max gunned the engine, tires spitting gravel as they took off. "I don't suppose your holographic disguise works on the whole truck." Zara shook her head. "Too much energy." But she reached into her pocket and pulled out a small crystalline device. "Scrambler, short range, but hide us from scans." As they sped down the road, the strange aircraft circling above, Max couldn't help but laugh. "You know, when I woke up yesterday, my biggest worry was filing my monthly report. Now I'm outrunning alien hunters with a diplomat from another world. Luna, remind me to update my resume when this is all over." Luna woofed in agreement, then suddenly tensed, growling at the back window. Max checked the rearview mirror and felt his heart skip a beat. A sleek black SUV had appeared behind them, gaining fast. "Friends of yours?" he asked Zara. She shook her head, fear evident in her eyes. "No, likely. Earth collaborators. Traitors to your people." "Fantastic," Max muttered. "Hold on," he yanked the wheel hard, veering off the main road onto a narrow dirt track that led into a dense forest. The truck bounced and jostled as Max navigated the rough terrain, branches scraping against the windows. "Any more tricks in that alien toolkit of yours?" Max asked, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. Zara hesitated, then nodded. "One. But dangerous. Could alert others. More dangerous than the guys trying to turn us into roadkill." Zara conceded the point. She pressed a series of buttons on her bracelet, and suddenly the world outside the truck windows seemed to shift. The trees blurred, colors inverted, and Max felt a wave of nausea wash over him. What did you do?" "Phase shift," Zara explained, her own voice strained. "We're slightly out of sync with normal space-time. Temporary, but..." Her words were cut off as the truck burst through the tree line and off the edge of a cliff. For a heart-stopping moment, they were airborne, the ground sickeningly far below. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the phase shift ended. The truck slammed back into normal space-time, landing hard on a narrow ledge halfway down the cliff face. Max sat frozen, hands still gripping the wheel. Luna whimpered softly from the backseat. Zara looked like she might be sick, if aliens could be sick. "Okay," Max said slowly, "new rule. No more alien tech without a warning first." Zara nodded weakly. Agreed. As their heart rates slowly returned to normal, Max peered out the windshield. The ledge they'd landed on seemed to lead to a cave entrance, half hidden by vegetation. "Well, we wanted to lay low for a while," Max said with forced cheer. "Can't get much lower than this. Come on, let's see where this rabbit hole leads us." As they carefully exited the precariously balanced truck, Luna's ears suddenly perked up. She let out a low, curious whine, her nose twitching. "What is it, girl?" Max asked. Luna padded towards the cave entrance, then looked back at them expectantly. Zara's holographic disguise flickered again as she focused her senses. "I feel something. Energy. Old, but powerful." Max looked between his two companions, then at the yawning darkness of the cave. He took a deep breath, squared his shoulders, and managed a wry smile. "Well, folks, I'd say, I've got a bad feeling about this, but I think we're well past that point, shall we?" With Luna leading the way, her tail held high like a furry beacon, the unlikely trio ventured into the cave. Little did they know that deep within its twisting passages, ancient machinery was humming to life, awakened by their presence. The Nightshade Protocol, dormant for millennia, was about to reveal its secrets, and with them, the true history of humanity's place in the cosmos. As the darkness swallowed them, Max couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking into the prologue of a much larger story, one that had been waiting eons for them to arrive. Echoes of forgotten tomorrows. The cave swallowed them whole, darkness pressing in from all sides. Max fumbled for his flashlight, its beam cutting through the gloom like a knife. The walls around them seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, faint symbols glowing and fading in rhythmic patterns. "I've seen some strange things in my years as a ranger," Max muttered, "but this takes the cake." Luna whined softly, her fur standing on end. Zara's holographic disguise flickered and failed, her true alien form now visible in the eerie light. "This place," she whispered, her wind chime voice echoing off the cave walls. "It resonates with memories, not mine. Older." As they ventured deeper, the cave floor began to slope downward. The air grew thick with the scent of ozone and something else, something ancient and indescribable. Suddenly, Luna froze, her ears perked forward. A low rumble filled the air, growing in intensity until the very ground beneath their feet began to tremble. "Earthquake?" Max asked, bracing himself against the wall. Zara shook her head, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with anxiety. "No, listen." The rumbling resolved into a rhythm, a pattern that tickled at the edge of comprehension. It was as if the earth itself was trying to speak. Without warning, the floor beneath them gave way. They plummeted into darkness, Luna's startled yelp mixing with her own cries of surprise. Instead of the bone-crushing impact Max expected, they found themselves sliding down a smooth, twisting chute. They landed in a heap on a soft, moss-like surface. As Max helped Zara to her feet and checked on Luna, he gasped at the sight before them. They stood at the edge of a vast underground cavern, easily the size of a small city. But it was what filled the cavern that defied belief. Towering structures of crystal and metal stretched towards the distant ceiling, pulsing with inner light. Strange machines hummed and whirred, their purpose unfathomable. What is this place? Max breathed, his voice barely a whisper. Zara's eyes were wide with wonder. This technology, it's beyond even Lumina's understanding. It's as if someone took slices of a dozen different futures and mashed them together. As they cautiously explored, Luna's nose led them to a central platform. A control panel rose from the ground, covered in symbols that seemed to shift and change as they watched. "Can you read this?" Max asked Zara. She shook her head. "No, but it feels familiar somehow, like a language I once knew but have forgotten." Max reached out, his hand hovering over the panel. "Should I?" Before he could complete the thought, Luna barked sharply. The sound echoed through the cavern, setting off a chain reaction. Lights flared to life, machines spun into action, and a holographic display bloomed above the control panel. A figure materialized, humanoid, but clearly not human. Its form seemed to be composed of pure energy, constantly shifting and reforming. "Welcome, inheritors," the figure spoke, its voice resonating not through the air, but directly in their minds. "We have waited eons for your arrival." Max, Zara, and Luna exchanged bewildered glances. What are you?" Max managed to ask. The figure's form rippled. "We are the precursors, the ones who came before. We seeded the galaxies with life, guided evolution, and prepared the way for those who would follow." Zara stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. "You created us, all of us." "Created, guided, nurtured," the precursor replied. "Human, Luminan, and countless others, all children of our grand experiment." Max's head spun with the implications. But why? And why? This? He gestured to the vast array of technologies surrounding them. The precursor's form darkened. "Because the universe is cyclical, and the dark tide rises again. We fought it once, long ago, and nearly lost everything. So we scattered our knowledge and our tools across the galaxies, hidden in places like this, waiting for the inheritors to claim them when the time came." "The dark tide," Zara whispered. "The war that consumes my world. It's spreading faster than we thought." The precursor nodded. "It is no ordinary conflict. It is the awakening of an ancient force that seeks to unmake creation itself. Your arrival here has activated the Nightshade Protocol, the final failsafe against the coming storm." Luna whined softly, pressing against Max's leg. He absently stroked her fur, trying to process the cosmic bombshell that had just been dropped on them. "So, what now?" he asked. "What does this Nightshade Protocol actually do?" The precursor's form expanded, encompassing the entire holographic display. Images flashed by, star maps, schematics, battle plans. "It gives you the keys to our legacy," the precursor explained. "Knowledge, technology, weapons, everything you'll need to unite your worlds and stand against the dark tide." Zara's eyes widened. This could end the war on Lumina, save countless lives across the galaxy. Max frowned. "It could also make things a hell of a lot worse if it falls into the wrong hands. Those hunters that were after us, what if they find this place?" As it can answer, a distant boom echoed through the cavern. Dust and small rocks rained down from above. The precursor's form flickered urgently. "They come. You must choose now, inheritors. Accept our legacy and the responsibility it brings, or let it be lost forever." Max looked at Zara, then at Luna. In his dog's trusting eyes, he saw reflected the simple, unwavering loyalty that had led them to this moment. He thought of his quiet life as a forest ranger, of the peace he'd found in the wilderness. That life was gone now, burned away by the fires of a conflict beyond imagining. But in its place, possibility. A chance to make a difference on a scale he'd never dreamed of. "Well," he said with a wry smile, "I've always wanted to see the stars up close. What do you say, Zara? Ready to save the universe?" Zara's bioluminescent skin pulsed with determination. "For Lumina. For Earth. For all of us." Together, they reached out and placed their hands on the control panel. Energy surged through them, ancient knowledge flooding their minds. Luna howled, the sound echoing through time and space, heralding the dawn of a new age. As the cavern shook with the approach of their pursuers, Max, Zara, and Luna stood transformed, no longer a lost alien, a simple ranger and his dog, but the vanguard of a cosmic revolution. The Nightshade Protocol was activated. The war for the future of all creation had begun. And somewhere in the depths of space, the dark tide trembled. Quantum entanglement of fates. The cavern trembled, ancient dust cascading from unseen heights. Max, Zara, and Luna stood at the epicenter of a transformation beyond human comprehension. Their bodies pulsed with newfound energy, minds expanded to encompass knowledge spanning eons. Max flexed his fingers, watching in awe as fractal patterns of light danced across his skin. I don't even have words for this. Zara's form had become even more alien, her bioluminescence now a swirling galaxy of colors. "We are more than we were," she said, her voice resonating on multiple frequencies, "and yet still ourselves." Luna whined, then sneezed. A shower of sparks erupted from her fur, coalescing into a holographic display of the solar system. "Okay, that's new," Max chuckled, scratching behind Luna's ears. The action sent ripples through the hologram, stars swirling in response to his touch. The precursor's form shimmered, its energy intertwining with theirs. The Nightshade Protocol is more than mere knowledge or technology. It is a symbiosis, a merging of past and present, of multiple potential futures. Another boom echoed through the cavern, closer this time. The hunters were nearly upon them. "Time to test out our new abilities," Max said, his voice steady despite the nervous energy coursing through him. "Any suggestions?" The precursor's form expanded, enveloping them in a cocoon of light. "Trust in each other. Trust in yourselves. The protocol will guide you." As the light faded, they found themselves changed once more. Max's ranger uniform had transformed into a suit of armor that seemed to shift between solid matter and pure energy. Zara's holographic disguise was gone, replaced by a pulsing aura that bent light around her. Luna's fur shimmered with constellations, her eyes now twin novas of fierce protectiveness. The cavern wall exploded inward. Through the dust and debris stepped a group of figures, some human, some clearly not. Their leader, a tall being with skin like polished obsidian, stepped forward. "So," it hissed, voice like grinding stones, "the Nightshade Protocol awakens. How? Inconvenient." Max felt knowledge bubble up from the depths of his transformed mind. "Voidborn," he spat. "Servants of the dark tide." The obsidian being's eyes narrowed. "You know us, yet you do not flee. Curious." Zara moved to stand beside Max, her aura flaring. "We are the inheritors. We will not run from shadows." Luna growled, the sound reverberating through subspace. The Voidborn soldiers took an involuntary step back. The leader laughed, a hollow, chilling sound. "Brave words. But you are newborns playing with forces beyond your comprehension. Surrender the protocol, and your deaths will be swift." Max felt a surge of something, not quite anger, not quite determination. It was as if the very fabric of reality was rallying to their defense. "Counter-offer," he said, a smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "You turn around and leave. Tell your dark tide that Earth, Lumina, and every other world out there is off limits. Or we show you exactly what the Nightshade Protocol can do." The Voidborn leader's face contorted in rage. It raised a hand, dark energy coalescing into a deadly sphere. So be it. What followed was a battle that defied the laws of physics. Max, Zara, and Luna moved as one, their actions guided by the accumulated knowledge of the precursors. They phased through solid matter, bent light into hard-edged weapons, and manipulated gravity itself. Luna's bark shattered the fabric of space-time, momentarily banishing their opponents to pocket dimensions. Zara wove illusions so complex they became reality, trapping void-born soldiers in paradoxical loops. And Max found himself tapping into the very essence of Earth itself, channeling the primal forces of nature against their cosmic foes. The void-born leader howled in frustration as its forces were systematically dismantled. Impossible. You are mere animals, playthings of a dead race. Zara's voice rang out, clear and resolute. We are more than that. We are the bridge between what was and what will be. We are the guardians of life itself. As if in response to her words, the cavern came alive. The strange machines that had lain dormant for eons hummed to life, their purpose now clear. They were not mere tools or weapons, but seeds, the beginnings of a network that could span galaxies, uniting worlds against the encroaching darkness. The void-born leader, sensing defeat, snarled and opened a portal of swirling darkness. This isn't over, inheritors. The dark tide cannot be stopped. We are entropy incarnate. As the last of the void-born retreated, Max, Zara, and Luna stood in the center of the cavern, panting but victorious. The adrenaline of battle faded, leaving them to fully comprehend the magnitude of what had just occurred. So, Max said, running a hand through his hair and marveling at the cosmic dust that fell from it, I guess the vacation's over, huh? Zara laughed, the sound like tinkling crystals. I believe your Earth saying is, out of the frying pan, into the fire. Luna woofed in agreement, her tail wagging and leaving trails of stardust in the air. The precursor's form reappeared, more solid now, as if their victory had strengthened its connection to their plane of existence. You have taken the first step on a long journey, inheritors. The dark tide will return, stronger and more determined. You must prepare. Max nodded, a fierce determination settling over him. We will, but we're not going to hide in caves, holding secret knowledge. If we're going to win this, we need to bring everyone together. Humans, Luminans, every species out there with a stake in this fight. Zora's aura pulsed in agreement. Unity in diversity. It is the Lumina way, and perhaps the key to our survival. The precursor's form seemed to smile. You understand. This is why you were chosen. Go forth, inheritors. Awaken the worlds. Forge your alliance. And when the dark tide rises again, stand firm against the night. As the precursor faded, Max, Zora, and Luna looked at each other. They were no longer just an Earth Ranger, an alien diplomat, and a loyal dog. They were the vanguard of a cosmic revolution, the first line of defense against an evil as old as time itself. Max grinned, the weight of their new responsibility balanced by the thrill of the unknown. Well, team, we've got worlds to save and a universe to protect. Where should we start? Luna barked, her cosmic fur rippling with excitement. Zora's eyes twinkled with the light of distant stars. We start, she said, by rewriting the stars. Together, they stepped towards the heart of the cavern, where a shit unlike any ever seen on Earth awaited them. As they boarded, the walls of the cave seemed to melt away, revealing the vast expanse of space. Their journey was just beginning. The universe held its breath, waiting to see what these unlikely heroes would do next. For in their hands lay the fate of all creation, a symphony of possibilities, waiting to be orchestrated. The Nightshade Protocol was more than activated. It was alive, embodied in three beings who dared to dream of a future where the light always overcame the darkness. And somewhere, in the depths of the cosmos, hope flickered to life once more. Symphonies of stardust and silence. The vessel that emerged from Earth's atmosphere defied conventional physics. It was less a ship and more a living idea, its hull a shimmering membrane of possibilities. Max, Zara, and Luna stood at its heart, their forms now a perfect blend of flesh, energy, and cosmic potential. As they accelerated past the moon, Luna's bark echoed through the ship, each woof spawning a new star in their wake. The cosmos itself seemed to be rewriting its laws around them, acknowledging the birth of something unprecedented. Max's eyes, now swirling pools of galactic dust, widened in awe. I can feel every atom in the universe. It's overwhelming. Zara, her form a kaleidoscope of bioluminescent fractals, placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. The touch sent ripples of understanding between them, thoughts and emotions flowing freely. Focus on the harmony, she whispered, her voice carrying the weight of eons. We are the conductors of a cosmic orchestra. As if in response, the ship's membrane pulsed, projecting a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. Countless worlds glowed, some dimming as the dark tide's influence spread, others flickering with nascent resistance. Luna padded over, each paw print leaving a temporary nebula on the ship's floor. She nosed at a cluster of fading lights, whining softly. Max nodded, understanding the dog's concern without words. You're right, girl. We need to start there. Their vessel shifted, responding to their collective will. Space folded around them, and suddenly they were orbiting a dying world, its atmosphere choked with the inky tendrils of the dark tide. Thoraxis, Zara breathed, recognition flooding through her. A hub world, central to several galactic alliances. If it falls. It won't, Max said firmly. He reached out, not with his hand, but with his very essence. The Nightshade protocol surged through him, and he felt the planet's pain as if it were his own. What happened next defied description in any known language. Max, Zara, and Luna moved in perfect synchronization, their actions a dance of creation and destruction. They wove through the planet's dying atmosphere, their ship leaving trails of purifying light. Luna's cosmic bark shattered the dark tide's hold, creating pockets of pure potential. Zara sang in frequencies that restructured reality itself, her voice a beacon of hope for the planet's inhabitants. And Max became a conduit for life itself, channeling the raw creative force of the universe. As they worked, something unexpected happened. The beings of Thoraxis, witnessing this impossible display, felt a change stirring within them. It was as if a long-dormant part of their collective consciousness was awakening. Suddenly, millions of voices joined the symphony. The planet itself seemed to rise up against the darkness, its very core pulsing with newfound energy. The dark tide recoiled, its hold weakening. In the span of what felt like both an eternity and a heartbeat, Thoraxis was transformed. The skies cleared, revealing a world reborn. But it wasn't just restored, it was evolved, its inhabitants forever changed by their brush with both annihilation and transcendence. As Max, Zara, and Luna's ship settled into orbit, a transmission crackled through the cosmos. It was a message of gratitude, of awakening, of a people ready to join the fight against the darkness. One world down, Max said, a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration in his voice. A galaxy to go. Zara's form shimmered with joy and determination. We've given them more than salvation. We've given them purpose. Luna woofed in agreement, her tail wagging and scattering stardust across the ship's interior. As they prepared to move on to the next world in need, a new presence made itself known. The precursor materialized, but it was different now, more defined, as if their actions had strengthened its connection to their reality. You exceed all expectations, inheritors, it said, its voice resonating with pride. But be warned, the dark tide will not take this lightly. It will gather its forces, strike back with all its might. Max nodded, his expression serious. Let them come. We'll be ready. Zara's aura pulsed with fierce determination. We are no longer alone in this fight. Every world we save becomes an ally, a bastion against the darkness. Luna growled, the sound rippling through subspace. Entire star systems shuddered in response, as if pledging their allegiance. The precursor's form seemed to smile. You understand. This war will not be won through power alone, but through unity, through the unbreakable bonds you forge. As the precursor faded, Max turned to his companions. So, where to next? Zora's eyes twinkled with the light of 1,000 possible futures. Everywhere, nowhere. The question isn't where we're going, but who we're becoming. Luna barked excitedly, and the ship's membrane rippled in response. Images flashed across its surface, worlds in peril, civilizations on the brink, and through it all, a thread of hope connecting them all. Max grinned, the weight of their task balanced by the thrill of infinite possibility. Well then, let's go become legends. As their ship accelerated into the unknown, they left behind more than just a saved world. They left a promise echoing across the cosmos, that in the darkest night, hope would always find a way to shine. The dark tide raged against this new threat, but with each world awakened, each alliance forged, its power diminished. For in the hearts of Max, Zora, and Luna burned a fire that could never be extinguished, the indomitable spirit of life itself. And so the great cosmic dance continued. Worlds were lost and won, alliances forged and tested, and through it all, 3 unlikely heroes rewrote the very story of existence. They were no longer just themselves, but a living embodiment of the Nightshade Protocol, a bridge between what was and what could be. As they journeyed on, the universe held its breath, waiting to see what wonders and miracles would unfold next. For in this grand tale of stardust and silence, of darkness and light, one truth remained constant, that even the smallest act of courage could change the course of galaxies. The adventure was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun.